we all of a sudden got a ton of dumbbells for our gym. She still slides.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the best customer service of any gym equipment I've ever purchased before. So this was about $2,400. The alternative would have been $8,000. The price was awesome. The product is awesome. It works just as advertised.
Massenomics.
What's up, everyone? Today I'm here in Massenomics Gym with Tommy to show off our Alibaba 4-tier sliding bottom shelf budget dumbbell racks. We've had now these two in Massenomics Gym. Well, this one came first, this one came second. It's been like a month since we've had both of these set up. And we're here to talk about what my impression is, and probably even more importantly, what the alternative option was and what this process all looked like, because it was like a totally new equipment buying process for me. Like, I've never gone down this Alibaba road, so I was like a little nervous about it, a little unsure of how it was gonna go, and I won't spoil the surprise, but you'll hear how it all ended up here.
So can we get the demo of how these things work first?
Yeah, so we've got it split. The finished product is, the left-hand side, the left-hand rack, the newest one, that's all the York round head dumbbells that holds my complete set. The right hand is all the pro-style existing dumbbells that we had before. And these are 4-tier shelves, 4-tier dumbbells. And you might look at this and you're like, well, how do I get those big heavy ones off the bottom? Like, I can't stick my hand in there. But that's where the sliding shelf comes into play. You pull them out like that. And then if I was strong enough to pick this 100-pound dumbbell up, I would just pick it up, and there you have it. And when you're done with them, you slide them back in.
And so the shelf, I mean, this one's really heavy over here, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's got 600 pounds on it almost.
I mean, does that still slide out just
fine? Yeah, we'll try it. It's a little harder. It's a little heavier, but she still slides.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's got 140 and 150-pound dumbbells on it.
That's nice.
So, I mean, you're not really going to load this any heavier than this one is loaded right here, right now.
What, you're telling me you don't go higher than 150s?
Well, I was just talking about curls, not presses and rows. So I guess to spoil the surprise, these turned out pretty sweet. Like, they work really well. You just saw that. And our thing is, when I started adding this kind of collection set of round heads in, we all of a sudden got a ton of dumbbells for our gym. And I'm like, I don't want the dumbbells spread out all over the place. I want to consolidate this a little bit so that way we can have more room for other equipment. And that is how it's working out. But in order to do that, the dumbbells needed to go higher. You know, I had like a 2-tier shelf over here before and basically a 1-tier shelf over here. Now this 4-tier, the dumbbells are like chest level height almost here at 6'3". But the advantage is we can cram a ton of dumbbells into a relatively small spot. And it works. It works quite well, actually. And I would also say it even just kind of looks cool. Not that matters that much, but
looks really cool.
There is now like this wall of dumbbells over here.
The wall of dumbbell is awesome to look at.
Yeah, but if we're ready for story time, I think I should explain the process. So I was interested in attacking this dumbbell issue. I knew I wanted something tall that could hold a lot of dumbbells in a decent footprint. And the first recommendation someone gave me was the Prime Fitness 4-tier dumbbell rack that has a sliding bottom shelf on it. So I did some looking into that. It cost $2,700. The shipping, with shipping, it put the price of the product over $4,000 for one of them. For one of them, I have two here. So one of them was going to be over $4,000. And at first, originally, they said the lead time was 1 year.
It's a long time.
So one of them really wasn't going to fix my problem. If I got one, I have a half-fix issue here. So I needed two. Going to cost over $8,000, and I still wouldn't have them right now. They'd be showing up hopefully in like 3 months, unless, to cut to the chase, their lead time isn't as long now. They advertise it as 14 weeks, I think. The price hasn't changed, so it's still going to cost you about $4,000 to get a comparable. When I say comparable, is the Prime Fitness one better than what I've got? I don't know. I've never used it. I can't speak about it too much. The specs are very similar. It actually holds one more pair of dumbbells.
Oh.
This one holds 19 pairs. Theirs holds 20 pairs. But height and width and all that's very similar. The Prime Fitness one is going to have more green
Prime stuff
like on the side. Maybe a little bit more polished look. I actually like the look of this what we have here. The Prime is slightly more
We got 3x3 with 5/8" holes?
Yeah. So you could fit a regular drink spotter on here, actually, but you just have the drink spotter XL on there for right now.
Still looks good.
Still works good. But I actually kind of like the look of this more basic, fits in for our I don't know, industrial, commercialist gym that we've got going on here. So I wasn't excited about the $8,000 price tag for shelves. $8,000 for basically shelves that you set your dumbbells on. Like, I can wrap my head around more if I'm buying a really cool combo rack, barbells, maybe even a squat rack, maybe pieces of equipment, but I'm like, this is a glorified shelf
And
for my
this is a
dumbbells.
gym with a lot of stuff in it. There's not many things in here that cost $8,000, is there?
Almost nothing, actually. So I found out about this alternative. I had put something out, I think, on Instagram, and some people messaged. I can't remember who it ultimately was. They eventually directed me a person that has this very rack that we've got here right now. And they said, I ordered this from Alibaba. Here's who you go to. Here's the woman's name you contact at this company. Here's how much it costs. So to tell you the company, in case anyone else is interested in going down the same route, it's actually, I put it on screen here even. Big Megan, how's it going? Here, put it on screen. Is that Qingdao Modun? What do you got, Tommy?
Yeah, it seems close enough.
Qingdao Modun Industry and Trade Co. Ltd. And her name is Lillian Wang. That's who I reached out to. So I reached out to her. This was back in April of 2024. She said, yeah, we have that rack. Yeah, we can get it for you. Our lead time, we can get it made within like a month and we'll get it shipped to you. It's got to ship from overseas. It's got to go across on a boat. So I said, okay, what's the price? The rack is $600, shipping is $600, just to use rough round numbers, to get one of them. I knew I needed two, but I was a little nervous about this process through Alibaba, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna order one at $1,200 all in, landed. We'll see how long it takes, we'll see what it actually looks like. It looked okay in the pictures, but I didn't really still know exactly what I was getting. So I ordered one in April, came maybe about 4 months later, put it all together.
And that was this one right here,
Yeah, that was
right?
this one. It was packaged really nicely, showed up to my door on a liftgate. Well, actually, that first one wasn't on a liftgate truck. That's a whole nother story. But it came, got it unloaded, got it here, put together as packaged, like probably the nicest of any gym equipment I've ever purchased, to be honest. Like the packaging on unboxing alone took an hour or two. But put it all together, and I'm like, well, this is perfect. You see it here in use now. It loaded up the dumbbells, and it worked exactly like we had hoped. And then I'm like, damn it, why didn't I order two of these right off the bat?
And we even got some videos of you assembling this, some time lapses.
Yeah, and maybe we can throw some of that stuff in here, and maybe we can even throw in some of screenshots of my conversation with Lillian Wang here as we're talking about that. Because also, I said some of the best packaging, some of the best customer, maybe the best customer service of any gym equipment I've ever purchased before. Actually, I just think it was. Like, there's nobody I've talked to that like works around the clock and is so attentive to every single question I have. There's maybe not a language barrier, but there's like a language, you have to be very specific about what you're saying because you can tell you're working with someone whose English isn't their primary language. So you just have to be careful about that. Like, their standard color is black and green. I didn't want it black and green. I wanted it all black. And we had to trade messages a couple times just to make sure I was on board with this rack being completely black. So got this one put together, ordered the second one in August. It showed up here in December, put it together, threw the dumbbells on, and very happy with it. So this was about $2,400. The alternative would have been $8,000. So looking at $5,600 difference approximately. Now, you could talk about supporting an Alibaba company versus supporting a company that's at least based domestically. And I get that. We actually do that for a lot of equipment. If I'm buying plates, I kind of want to buy the ones that are made in America. If I'm going to buy barbells, sometimes I kind of like the ones that are made in America. If I'm buying a squat rack or some machines, I kind of like supporting those. But when we're talking about a shelf for the dumbbells, and we're talking about 3 times the price and a savings of $5,000 or $6,000, I can pretty...
And potentially a lead time that's 4 times as long.
Yes, at least up front, that was what the lead time is. You know, it was going to be faster to get these sent from China, made in China and sent here, than it was going to get from the domestic company. So at the end of the day, it kind of turned out to be a no-brainer for me. It was an easy choice. And
now that it's all said and done,
yeah,
no regrets.
No, in hindsight, it worked out perfect. The price was awesome. The product is awesome. It works just as advertised. But I didn't know that. To be fair, I didn't know that going in. I was a little worried. I thought, I actually kind of knew that this would make for a YouTube video someday, so I thought at the very least, even if it turns out poorly, we'll make a YouTube video and talk about it, but it turns out it worked out really well. So I'd say if you have like a 19-20 dumbbell set and you have a space requirement that's something like this is a pretty sweet option, especially people are really interested in the rolling fourth tier. One thing I figured out though, here's a negative about any 4-tier shelf. This set, it's not a big deal. I start with 10s. Well, okay, here's a negative. The 10 Yorks they're not quite wide enough to actually fit in the saddles.
So they sit on top of it, kind of funny.
Yeah. Another thing, I'm just backtracking here, but assembly of this was really simple. There's not that many parts. So this set on the York starts at 10 and goes to 100. So the heaviest on the top shelf is 30. No big deal. I'm not America's Strongest Man or World's Strongest Man, and I can grab that 30 out there without a problem. I can grab both at the same time if I want to. This set, most people's wouldn't be that way, but our Pro Style set goes from 30 to 150. So that means the heaviest on the top shelf are 50s. And there again, I'm 6'3", so I can grab these off the top shelf without too much problem.
Right.
But if you're much shorter than me and quite frankly much weaker than me, it's kind of annoying to get these, and I even get them one at a time when I'm getting these because it's a weird, it's awkward, I guess is the
it's
best
up there.
word.
It's up
like
there.
for me to grab both of these and rip them off, I can do that, but it is just awkward.
Because you're leaning over, there's a little gap there.
Right. So that's a watch out, honestly. Like hadn't considered that.
But a lot of people, let's say they're doing this for their home gym, they're probably not going to start at 30.
No, most people wouldn't be set up like this, honestly. So that wouldn't be
because you have some of the lighter ones over here.
Yeah, they're over here on some other racks. The other thing too, in a gym like this, there was mirrors back here. Now, technically, the mirror, you can't see you until.
Oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can see your upper body entirely still, but it is just a different.
Short
some of the mirrors bar.
Might,
right. Yeah, if Dr. Mike comes to pay us a visit here, sorry, Dr. Mike, we're gonna have to bust out a mobile mirror or something because you're not flexing very good into this. I think that's about it on the racks. Anything that I should have discussed on these? Overall, really happy with them. The price, still kind of expensive, to be frank. If I'm talking, I have 2 dumbbell racks that cost $2,500, so I'm talking like it's cheap, but it's just relatively cheap.
But it's big. Everyone has its own saddle.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, and the saddles are on this one, on the Alibaba one. The saddles are interchangeable. You can see the top rack saddles are on the inner.
Oh.
And the lower, for the heavier ones, are further out. And you can change that. And then the bottom saddles on the shelves, it's double saddled. So it's got them on the inside and the outside.
It's kind of like riding one horse with 2 asses.
You can ride like 19 horses with just one ass if you get this shelf, actually. So, yeah, we love it. Check out all our other equipment videos. We've got a whole bunch of them on our YouTube channel. We also have like just a ton of gym tour videos. If you want to see more about Massenomics Gym, we've got tours on that. Tommy's home gym, like 15 other home gyms that we've been to. Check out all of those. Leave us a comment on this video. Like and subscribe. Your comment on this video, though, tell us what you think about this. Do you have a problem? Do you find an issue with not supporting a domestic company on something like this and going through Alibaba? I know some people would. Let me know your thoughts on that. If you wanted something like this, is it something you would consider? That's all for this one. We'll catch you next time.